Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Behind the Arch Podcast. Today, we have two wonderful new guests. To the right of me, we have our good friend Noah. Welcome. And to the left of me, we have Sophia, the fearless star that wants to dance her heart away. And we welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. And today's topic, we are going to be talking about the Arch of Overcoming. So let's just get into it, okay? All right. So I'm going to start with you, Noah, okay? What does overcoming a challenge mean to you?
Overcoming a challenge means, for me, a difficult goal you set for yourself that you achieve.
Okay.
That was pretty good. Took it from you. That's good.
Clock it. You stole her answer, she said.
Yeah, and I stand
I
on
just
that.
gave you that answer.
Okay. We don't talk about that. That's behind the scenes. Overcoming a challenge means to me is a lot what Noah said, because it is like setting a difficult goal for yourself that you do want to achieve. But it's like, to me, when like you're trying to cross the bridge, because like the side that you're already on is the challenge that you're in, and then you want to cross the bridge to get to the achievement. But it's also like making a bridge where you have to build the bridge, because that's your effort to achieving the better goal that you want for yourself.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I ain't never hear nothing wise come out of your mouth.
Because I knew you was gonna steal it, so I didn't want to say nothing.
Wow. So overcoming a challenge for me is overcoming a hard situation. You know, I do agree with you. It is like building a bridge, and in order to get over the situation or whatever the problems you're having. So, you know, overcoming a challenge is facing difficulties head on
Yeah.
and not being stuck for me. Okay. I like that. That was very intelligent of you.
I
like
know.
this.
Thank you.
Big brain over here, right? All right. So question number 2. Can you think of a time when you faced a tough situation and pushed through?
A time I would say I faced a tough situation was yesterday during the state test.
Explain that to me. What do you mean? What was so hard about it?
I would say the last part where we had to do an essay, you know, it was getting a little bit boring, but I thought about how high schools look at your 7th grade like portfolio and stuff. So I thought about that, and I started trying. I read the story and I did it.
Okay. What about you, Soph?
Well, I dance a lot, so it's mostly about dance, my life. And it was really dancing aggressively, which I still haven't nailed exactly yet, but we're getting there.
Okay.
And it's just the fact that when you're dancing and when you're trying to achieve something that you didn't before, it gets harder. And, you know, my dance teacher, Mrs. Ifonse, she really helps me push to that point. So it's really tough, because I basically just started dancing this year, if you will.
Really?
And yeah, like seriously, like this is my first year really dancing and committing to something this big in dance. And I always dance when I was younger, but by myself, nothing serious. So really dancing tough is aggressively is really like a struggle, because I'm not aggressive. And what helped me really like start dancing aggressively, or starting to, is watching Bring It On, All or Nothing, and they started crumping out. And you just gotta crump it out. Yeah, you just gotta crump it out, and it gets me in the mood to start dancing aggressively. And you crump it out, and like that, I worked. I started crumping, and bam, I'm aggressive now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. I like that. See, for me, facing a tough situation and how that I push through it, it all depends on the situation. I have encountered several things, and I've always told you guys, like, everybody has a past, and me being who I am, there's a lot of things that I had to overcome. And in order for me to push through it, for me, it's different things that I did. I will find comfort in friends, find comfort in myself, and then, of course, my belief and all that. So that's one thing that I usually would love to rely on all the time. And then, just remembering, it is possible to get through every situation. You know, I teach that to all the youth that I deal with, and that's one thing that's very important. You don't get stuck just because you went through a difficult situation. And the second part of this question is, how did it feel when you got past it? So your example was the state exam, and you was kind of concerned, and you also said that you started thinking about how high school starts looking at your seventh grade grades and test scores. So since you pushed through it and still finished the test, how did that make you feel?
It felt good to finish it, and I personally think I did a good job. So it's good to, how I say this? It's good to think about, like, your
That you tried.
yeah, that I tried in my future, and
Mm.
yeah,
So you feel like you was able to still achieve something.
yeah,
You don't have the answers yet because obviously you just took it this week, but you feel like you achieved it and you was able to be successful. I like that. That's good. What about you, Soph?
Well, when I look at everybody else like Brianna or Symphony or Derica, and they're dancing so like aggressively, and it feels good that I could dance at the same pace as them with the same type of aggression and performing the moves the same, because then that's really what it's about. You want to look in sync, and if one person is less aggressive and less bold and less sharp with it, then it falls the whole thing off.
Mm.
Then also dancing aggressively and gives you more opportunities because you could keep up and perform the same. So it feels good.
Awesome.
Sophie, you done this before?
No, I
Seems
talk
like
to
a
myself a
pro.
lot.
Well, we got a pro here when it comes down to podcasting because Soph is answering these questions head on. Oh no, man. Her answers are better than mine. All right, that's awesome. So, have you ever had a moment where you thought, I can't do this, but then found out or found a way to keep going? I'll start off with Soph.
Hmm.
I got you.
um, when I'm in those type of situations, I'm a Christian, a heavy believer in Christ. So if, in my opinion, and I believe that if He lead me in it, He will lead me through it and leave me out of it. So I don't. So when that comes, I always put my faith in Christ and I pray over it, and I pray every night for like about a couple years already. So it just goes in my prayer. Whatever I'm going through in the time is what I add on to my original prayer.
Amen to that. That's what I'm talking about. I like that.
Um, a time I thought I can't do this is it was back in fifth grade when. So I started playing basketball in fourth grade when I actually started being for real about it, and so I joined my elementary school team, and I can't lie, we was good. So we started going against middle schoolers, and so there was this one game, our first game, where we went against middle schoolers. We were all like, "Oh, we're gonna lose. Let's just give up." But then we fought our way out of it. We tried our best, and we actually won the game.
Awesome. You see, you can never give up, even if you think you're at the end and you can't do it. And that is a beautiful thing. I love both of your answers. You know what I mean? Because me, myself, I will say that I am a believer myself. So I do believe in, going to Christ, praying for everything. And that's, like I said before, that's what helped me through a lot of situations in my life, a lot of things that I've encountered. And that's a beautiful thing. And what you said, Noah, not giving up is very important because the moment that you give up, you already lose.
Right.
Right.
If you're able to overcome or you're able to actually find strength in something, then you'll be extremely successful. And overcoming a situation is very important. And that's one thing I want everybody that's watching this to understand. Just because you're in a difficult situation doesn't mean that your life ends, doesn't mean that everything becomes stuck for you. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. That's kind of cliche to say, but it's the truth. there's always another alternative to the situation, and eventually you will get through it. Once you find out what works for you, then you're gonna see how much and how successful you truly are, and that is the best part. All right, so we basically answered the second part of it of what helped you. So for Soph, yours is your belief,
Hmm.
and Noah, yours is
I'll say my coach
coach.
at the time.
Shout out to the coach,
Hmm.
fifth grade coach. Thanks, you supported him. I appreciate you. And for me, it's the same thing, faith, and also having a relationship with individuals that are like-minded. That's the most important thing for me. So that's a good thing. All right, so next question. All right, who in your life inspires you when you think about overcoming hard times?
My mom, uh, when she was younger, she didn't have a lot with my grandma. She didn't have a lot of money. She got bullied, but I feel like she had told me she ignored them. She, and she did her own thing, and that got her through it. I feel like, and her closest friends, I feel like they helped her a lot, and I feel like that's why she taught me to be careful with who you be friends with, like who your friends. And
Shout outs to mom,
Real tea.
because that was very wise of you, mom. Go ahead.
and I took that to mind. I cut some people off after she told me that story a little ago. And can I say another thing?
Yeah, yeah, good.
Another thing that inspires me about her is her hard work. I have two brothers, so she has three sons, and we all live we all live in a two-story bedroom. So I obviously share a room with my brother right now, and I, f- I feel like it's hard to raise three kids at the same time, like taking care of all of them at the same time, and that really inspires me. Her hard work, and she still puts food on the table for us. She gives us clothes to wear. She gives us everything. So
Well, mom, I could sit here and tell you just from a staff member, you are doing a great job. So shout outs to you, mom.
Right. Real tea.
Yeah, you're the real
Mhm.
MVP out here, and
hmm
that's very inspirational for a mom. That gives you wise wisdom. You get what I'm saying? Where number one, how to deal with bullying, how to deal with problems, and still encourage you, and then give you wisdom on to make sure that you do not make same mistakes that she did. You know,
hmm
so cutting out friends and all that, and that's something that I always try to tell everybody. And if you guys know me, my biggest thing is what? Boundaries.
Right.
I always talk about having boundaries with everybody. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
sometimes your closest friends are the ones that cross the boundaries all the time. And then, being inspirational as far as mom taking care of. You said you have two other brothers, right?
Right.
So three boys. Damn. Mom, you are the real MVP because I know how it is. Trust me, boys are not easy.
She basically gave you the key to life.
Yeah.
Everything you need is what she just said.
hmm That was dope. That was dope. I
It
like
really
that.
was.
Yeah. It'll make me cry. Oh my god. All right. So what about you?
It was also my mom. She got pregnant at 16, so teen pregnancy, and she still pushed forward with her life. She didn't let having a baby stop her, and she still graduated. She's still her best self to this day. And I have a little brother now, but obviously with me, she was younger. She still graduated. She went to prom. She still had the high school experience with a baby, and still, did everything you're supposed to. And credits to her, because I don't like some people who get pregnant at a young age, they quit. They give up.
Yeah.
They think it's the end. And that's really it. So that taught me to never have a baby at 16. So
Big facts of that.
yeah,
You
don't do
guys,
that.
you heard that, right? See, this is a seventh grader telling y'all don't have a baby at a young age, and that goes for y'all little high schoolers that be watching this podcast too. You heard? All right, cool.
But seriously, it really taught me that there's no challenge you can't face if there's just no challenge you can't face. Like
Right.
it doesn't. It gets worse than that. But that's one of the biggest problems in the world, having a baby at a young age. But the difference between her and a lot of other people is the fact that she kept going. She didn't let that stop her. She's a great mom. She still is a great mom. Like, I give all credit to her. I learned half of the things I know because of her. And she just teaches me the best in life, how, like, respect. She teaches me boundaries. She teaches me not everything you do good comes with the reward, because it's also you're doing it for yourself. And it is really like
Yeah, I'm gonna clock that because
Clock
that
it,
was,
clock it,
sis.
clock
that
it.
was real. That was real. Shout out to mom on that one.
Yes, and she's really my biggest fan. And like sometimes she be letting me go outside looking crazy, but we'll overlook that for now.
For now.
We'll talk about that later. But she's really a great mom, and she really pushed through at such a young age and really lived her life to the fullest with the baby and graduating high school, and she's still doing amazing out there. And I can't, like, I could say so many things about her, but it just won't express how proud I am of her coming from the child. Like, it's just like thinking about it makes me go crazy, because babies are crazy.
Yeah.
I have little cousins, and ooh, child, no,
Yeah,
no,
I
just
get
no,
it.
just no. So it's really like amazing how she did that, because I wouldn't. And then I don't think a lot of people could stay here in front that they could, and so it happens to them and they can't do it.
That's a big fact. And you said something. I love both your people that inspired you, which is your parents, your mom, and I love that because believe it or not, you are 100% right. Teen pregnancy is one of the hardest things for a young lady to overcome. Being a single parent is a hard thing for a woman to overcome. So it goes to show you the strength. It goes to show you how much care they have tender care for you guys. Um, One of the biggest problems that a lot of it is that parents do not sometimes teach their kids boundaries, rules, and just to show them, hey, yeah, I made these mistakes, but it's possible to still do good. It's still possible to overcome everything, and that's one thing that I wish a lot more parents would do, because then sometimes if you don't have these conversations with your kids, and shout outs to both these kids' parents. Honestly, you guys did an amazing job, and you still doing an amazing job. I will say that there are parents out there that do not give these kids gems as you have. Yeah, this is a segment where I'm congratulating you mothers, because you guys again can just hearing parts of your stories shows me how much you guys have offered your own children and how much you have encouraged them. And to those parents that are watching, I will say, listen, teach your kids in life lessons. Don't tell them yes, no, maybe so. No, tell them the real. Keep it honest with them. I think that's the one thing on why a lot of kids are drawn to a lot of the conversations that I have with you all, because I tell you how it is straight out. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because we're not going to pretend that the world is rainbows and butterflies when it's not. There's a lot of difficulties out there. And, teen pregnancy is a real thing. Addiction's a real thing. Kids just exploring the world and trying to figure out life, but there's no guidance
Right.
in a lot of people's home, a lot of kids' homes, And I think that's one thing that you guys have been able to be you're benefiting from the way your parents are.
Yes.
So that's a beautiful thing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing.
I just want to add one more thing about my dad. Is when my mom did get pregnant, they were not together. He ended up getting a job to support me and my mom, and I think that for me, I don't think he gets enough acknowledgement for that, because yes, it was my mom, love her, like I said everything I can about her, but I think it's more so some people can't really say how their dad did that for them and stepped up and really, you got a job and full on try to take care of a whole baby. And that's what my dad did. My dad has always been in my life, even though my parents are not together. And he has jobs. He supports me. Everything I have, money wise,
Hmm.
or majority of the things that I have, material wise, it's mostly from him. He spoils me as if he was spoiling himself. So all my bling,
Uh-huh.
look at it. It's from my dad. Like it's from my dad.
Shout out to Dad.
Right.
Spoiling the little princess out here.
And it's just, even though it also shows that even though my parents are not together, they did the best co-parenting that they can. They never made me feel as if my parents are about to argue. It never made me feel, oh, my parents are not getting along. Because my mom always taught me that grown-up business is between the grown-ups. Kids should know nothing about that, because then it makes the kids stress. And that's
Facts. Yo, go ahead, Mom.
Hey,
Go ahead, Dad. Y'all know what y'all doing over there. You know what? We're gonna have to invite y'all over here to the podcast. Maybe do a couple of parenting classes and stuff like that.
and they taught me that whatever grown-ups business, that's to the grown-ups. Don't let the kids know. And that's why, and in some households, they tell their kids what's going on between their dads, or if you got two moms, you got two dads, whatever's going on. And that's why kids come to school so mad and always so like angry. Yes. And then they take that out on other people, and that's not fair.
Agreed.
And that's really what made me to what I am today, how I am. It's really like, that's their business. Don't go into it. In general, if it's anybody else's business, don't go into it. Because even though it's adults, it also goes the same for kids. Like, if I'm having a conversation with somebody and you're in the business, then you're going to stress yourself out over what I'm saying, not even knowing it's about you.
right.
So it goes for a lot of things.
This is true.
And that's also boundaries, having boundaries for your kids.
Yep.
And for other kids.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. No, you hitting a lot of things on the head, and this is what overcoming is. Because a lot of people do not know how to overcome situations. You're saying that people are butting into other people's conversation, and then now they're stressed. How are they going to overcome that?
Right.
But they shouldn't have to overcome it if it was never their problem.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So now you're worried for what? You know what? Go sit over there in the corner, cry until you figure out your feelings, and then come back and then, oh, you know what? I just realized I'm stressing for something that's not my problem.
Right.
And, shout out to Dad. Shout out to Dad.
He's great.
Yeah.
It's like, if I could pick, for everybody's birthday and whatever, I always make a big paragraph to make them understand how I feel on their special day so they could feel good about themselves. And every time I write to my mom or my dad, I'm always like, if I had another life and I could pick my parents, I wouldn't pick different parents. I would pick you again and again and again. Because
Awesome.
I feel like people always get mad at their parents or their friends, or anybody in general, when they go through a down. And it happens all the time. People go through the ups and downs, and then some people be like, oh, I hate them because they did this, that, and third. How am I gonna hate my mom for parenting me? How am I gonna hate my dad for telling me what's the truth, what's really going on? And it's really like, people. I think people don't get mature conversations. I feel like people baby them, going to school and you get babied and stuff. And that's like what really made me is going to, not into the real world. I'm still a kid, but understanding that, not like you said, not everything's sunshine and rainbows. People are gonna talk to you no matter how much they like you or nothing, and you gotta defend yourself. You could be the nicest person on earth, but that don't matter to people, because people are who they are. At the end of the day, you be you, and if they decide to be rude to you, walk away, because it's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
I agree.
And then whoever you're believing, I believe in Christ, I pray about it. And then it makes me feel better because I know Christ got my back, and I know nothing's going to happen to me as long as I believe in him. So I don't stress no more.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a pound too, but that was big ones. All right. All right, I hear that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to add anything to this? No? All right. All right, yeah. Well, that was awesome. I could tell you, for people that inspired me, and when I think about people who has overcome me myself, I like to think about my parents as well. Both of them they're the ones that overcome a lot of things, right? And when I think about them, and my father always told me, if you're angry, don't speak in anger. My mom always told me that if you are going to make a decision, make sure it's a decision that's not going to jeopardize your future.
Right.
Never make decisions out of anger or being overwhelmed or that could ruin your whole life. That's the biggest thing. And encountering all the problems they had, not with each other, but in life in general,
Right.
and still producing a person like myself, which I am the best thing they have made. Shout out to y'all. Um,
I mean, he's
I
not
got
lying.
I got
He's
like
not
three other
lying.
siblings, but I'm the first and I'm the best. Thank you
I
guys.
agree. I'm the oldest, and I'm
Yeah,
definitely.
me too.
So, you know, they did an amazing job. They're still alive, thank God. I cherish them as much as I can.
As you should.
And of
Yeah.
course, I'm an adult. I do what I gotta do, all the stuff I gotta do. But yeah, my parents, they do inspire me every time, especially with everything they've gone through. They actually recently celebrated, what is it, 30 something years of marriage. I forgot how much exactly, but
That's
over
crazy.
30 years of marriage.
That's
They
good.
did
Been
their
together for
vow
long.
renewal. They did it February, actually. February of this year. February, they did their vow
That's the
renewal.
month of love.
Yeah, yeah. And oh yeah, that's level right because over 30 years of marriage.
That's long.
Jesus. I'm gonna tell you, that's a long time. Half the time, these kids don't even know how to go through a relationship in one day. Whatever. Cause
The shade has been
Yeah,
thrown.
you're not
hey, am I
lying.
not lying?
You're not lying.
You my girlfriend today, then tomorrow I'm talking to somebody else. How you cheated on me within 24 hours? What the hell's going on here, right?
Middle school relationship.
Middle
Be
school
crazy.
kids. Oh my God. And then, oh no, they get with one boy, then they overcome that boy by going with another boy or this girl and all these things. And all of a sudden, it's like, dude, you had like 5 relationships in less than a month. How was that possible?
I don't know.
Sound like some
See?
of the girls in our school.
Oh.
You kids.
Oh.
Y'all better figure it out.
Oh,
And if you want to have conversations with Mr. Diaz. You know where my room is, all right? So we could tell you how it's not supposed to be. Okay? Thank you. So shout out to my parents, and
Shout out to everybody's
Big
parents
shout
that's
out
in
to
their
them.
life and do what they do.
exactly. Um, when you're struggling with something, how do you motivate yourself to keep going?
I'm thinking about it.
Anytime?
When I'm struggling with something, how do I motivate myself to keep going? I dance. It's dancing is my biggest thing to take me away from reality. It makes me feel like when I'm performing at shows for school shows and I just see everybody's faces, I can't explain it. It's the happiest feeling I ever had. It's like there's nothing that can beat that. It's like it's over birthdays. It's over Chris. It's like so much better than everything I ever experienced because I feel like when I'm dancing, I'm in my own world. I'm dancing. If I dance how I feel, in my opinion, except for aggressive because I can't do that. I don't know why. So when I dance, I feel like I'm the only person in the world, and it really makes me motivate myself because it's like I listen to a song that relates to my situation and I dance to it and I dance my feelings out,
Awesome.
and that's the best way to motivate myself. And then, that's really just what I do.
Awesome.
I feel like what I do to motivate myself is I think about the best thing that could come out of the situation, the bright side,
Right.
how this could benefit me, instead of just, oh, I give up, work through it,
Mm-hmm.
and um, and
You got it. Come on. Brainstorm.
He's almost there. He's almost there.
He's almost there. Come on, Noah.
and get what's best for me.
Nice. I like that.
I'm glad you thought about it before you said something. I got a little scared.
Yeah, but it's very important that you get through it and you find something to motivate you. Being stuck is not an option. I always tell that to everybody, every kid. Being stuck is not an option whatsoever. So finding something to motivate you and get you through a situation is one of the essential keys in success. We say this, especially with what I do as far as counseling. We always try to give you tools.
Right.
And I always try to tell you guys, what tools do you use to help you get over anger, help you get over anxiety, helps you get over problems, situations. If you don't have that tool, then your life is going to be miserable. You're always going to be in the same situation. You're always going to feel stuck. And I'm happy. Like things like for me, what do I do? I took up quite a few things that I like to do to keep myself entertained. You know, when it comes down to this podcasting, this is my first year doing it,
Mm.
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And it's a hobby for me, but it's a good positive thing for me to do, especially with the kids, because it teaches the next kids or the next set of people, next generation, how to do something that could be motivating for them to be an outlet to release certain feelings, emotions, whatever they're experiencing. This right here, this platform that we've been creating here in this school, is I find that a lot of kids want to join now, but when I first brought it up, they was like, no, because they don't want to have conversation. Like, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to do
That
no.
was me.
So, but now when you see the product and when it's going, the way everything is going, everybody's like, you know what? It looks fun, and that's an opportunity that I could get now here in the school. Let me try it. So for me, this is something that I've always wanted to do for my own personal, but this was my learning curve with you guys, right? Photography, videography, all these things. I've only been doing it for only a few years.
Right.
But these are my hobbies now. These are things that I enjoy doing. I get a lot of flack because, I'm always recording something, always doing something, but that's fun for me.
What you
So
like.
that's my outlet, and that's what I've really been enjoying a lot for the last 2 years. Actually, yeah, 2 years. I've only been doing it for the videography for only 2 years.
And it looks like you've been doing
Looks
it forever.
great.
Yeah,
It
so
looks amazing.
thank you,
Mhm.
thank you. I still have a lot to learn. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm getting there. Awesome. So I think we kind of like answered this question. What do you do to calm down when you are frustrated or overwhelmed by a challenge? So I think we kind of like answered that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you want to add something more to?
Um, I would say a lot of teenage or about to be teenage boys say this. Really just playing my video game.
Mm,
It's just what makes me happy at the time
yeah.
and what I have fun with.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. What kind of video games though?
Say like COD,
COD. Here we go.
Fortnite.
Uh huh.
Lord.
Hey,
Fortnite. No, that's a dub. Fortnite, I don't know what
what's
happened.
wrong with Fortnite?
Nah, I can't. All that building stuff. I couldn't stand.
I'm good at it, so
Fortnite. No, but COD, you got it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah. Give me some team deathmatch, some Warzone. Even though Warzone's a little annoying to me sometimes, but give me team deathmatch all
What
day.
Warzone do too?
Huh?
Wow, Warzone annoying.
Cause it's like, oh my god. I'd rather do. If I have to do it on a team, I don't trust people. You know what I mean? I guess my trust issues projects through the game as well. So when it comes down to it, it's important. When it comes down to it, that we have these outlets, but playing video games when I was your age, I think the main thing that was popular was 2K, anything 2K. So it was basketball, it was football, it was wrestling.
WWE.
Yeah, 2K, whatever 2K was out at that time, I used to play that with my friends all the time. We would sit around, order a bunch of pizza, have a bunch of matches, and we play. What was it? PlayStation? Yeah, it was PlayStation 2 at that time. PS2, and just keep on playing the video game all day. Or Xbox. It was Xbox. Yeah, Xbox
Oh.
One, PlayStation 2, and yeah, it was
What you
awesome.
like better, Xbox, PlayStation?
Oh, okay. You see, this is a debate. All right.
PlayStation.
PlayStation. PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Oh my god. Okay. So I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first started playing consoles and all that, my best console that I loved the most, that I played it faithfully every day, was Xbox 360.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
That was the
Yikes.
best console because the graphics was way better than PlayStation. PlayStation 4 is when I became a PlayStation head.
Oh
But
Lord.
yeah, and then now if you still ask me which one is better, I think PlayStation 4. I mean, PlayStation has um, better graphics now.
Right.
Now,
for sure.
way better. But the real gamers is on Xbox.
No, they're on PC.
No, PC is not even in the conversation. PC need to get out. Listen,
You just mad that they better, and it's all right.
It's
PC, y'all gotta overcome yourselves and go touch grass or something. Cause
I could tell somebody got you mad on PC.
I'm PC kid.
no, PC is annoying to me. I can't. No.
Too many buttons.
Yeah.
How much work?
Exactly. Give me the joystick. I'm gonna bust you behind, and that's it.
I don't like the way the Xbox controller built.
Yeah, I don't like it now. Yeah, it's built like a fridge. Um, but yeah, in my opinion, I always believe that Xbox had the better gamers. Like they was real gamers, not this cheating and hacks and all that. But PlayStation, yeah. But either way, now it's like, all right, now you could cross play with everything, so it doesn't even matter. That debate's kind of like dead to me now.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It used to be you couldn't
Yeah,
only play with
before.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but what about you? What about well, yeah, you said dancing calms you down
Yeah.
and helps you overcome, right? Okay. So,
Or eating. Eating's really like fundamental.
I love eating.
Yo.
years of dedication to that. Yes, sir. Years in dedication. Eating
Yes.
is very good.
I got a
But
favorite food.
huh?
I got a favorite food.
Do I have a favorite food? I do actually.
It's Alfredo for me, all the way. Pasta.
What?
I love
Pasta?
pasta. Alfredo. I like my last meal would be pasta. I
Mm.
love pasta. It's my favorite food ever. I could eat pasta every day.
What about you?
I got a weird addiction with Chipotle.
Oh,
Oh
his
my God.
addiction
Over.
is so bad.
All right.
Overrated.
I think Chipotle is overrated. Okay. Now, would I eat it? Yes, I would. But to me, it's overrated. I think when it first came out, it was good. I found it ridiculous when they wanted to add, guac as extra. Now look at them like, what are you
Right,
talking about?
$2 more. What you
So
mean?
you're saying it's
Well, now,
overrated
but-
because of the
well,
prices?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
They're overrated. Their actual food itself, it's not bad. But again, I think it's overrated.
I mean, you're
I've had
Puerto
better.
Rican.
Yeah, I've had better.
Like, you're Puerto Rican. We're Puerto Rican. Everything.
I've had better, honestly speaking. But my favorite meal, honestly, would be a steak.
Oh, steak is so good. How you like it?
Medium. It
Mm.
could be medium rare, but medium because of the fact that to me it has more flavor, and it's not chewing a hockey puck. I used to get it well done, but then when I accidentally, and it was accidental, I stumbled upon medium, and it was I actually ordered it wrong. I said, let me get a medium rare. People looked at me like, you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I was like, nah, I want that.
Right.
I always get that.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted that
I
time.
always heard my parents say, I was like, I want to try it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's different. It's at first you'd be like, but the flavor is tender, it's good as long as they cook it right. So depending on where you go, if you say medium, it's cooked through, but the only thing is it has a little slight pink in the middle. Now if you're talking about you cut it open, you got blood running out. Hold up, my man. You better put this back on that grill. I ain't got time for that. I like it a little bit, but not too much. It has to be a nice pink center. But that's just me. Steaks, some potatoes.
Right.
That's the one thing that I could cook every day and eat it every day.
Mashed potatoes.
No, roasted potatoes actually.
Roasted. What do
Yeah,
you
some
mean?
roasted
Roasted.
potatoes.
What's
So, like for me, I put it in the air fryer.
Oh, it's like potatoes, and and it's just roasted. Like
Yeah.
it's not. Like, it's cooked, but it's not cooked.
Yeah.
that? You know how to cook, or you one of them like microwave, air fryer?
No. I do. I know how to cook. I
Don't
use
play with him.
I use the air fryer to get my veggies crispy. Like I wanted like that roasted taste, whatever. But I season that bad boy. Listen, regular stuff that you eat, regular peppers. People love my peppers. All I do is cut it up, put a little bit of seasoning on it, roast it up, and people will be like, "Yo, can you make more peppers?"
It's because people normalize not putting seasoning on their food.
Yeah, what in the white people is going on here?
Right.
We're about to get banned. My apologies. I know some of you white people do season your food, but
Some.
Yeah, some.
not all of y'all.
Some.
Y'all guilty. Y'all been running like that for years. So we here to put y'all on
Right.
notice.
Mhm.
Stop, please. Put some damn salt, not just salt and pepper. Put some damn seasoning, some garlic powder, some onion powder, something, please.
Some adobo.
Right.
Adobo's your
Some
best friend.
Adobo.
Do something, please. Okay. We appreciate y'all.
Right.
I
Don't
really-
cook for me if there's no seasoning.
I agree. That plate's gonna stay right there.
Right.
I'm gonna take it with me, but it's definitely not gonna go in my house.
I'm gonna throw it out and put the plate bottom so you can't see what I eat.
All right. So last question: do you know anyone who has overcome a huge challenge in their life?
I think you skipped a question.
Did I?
Yes, it was the mistake and fail.
Oh, right here. Yes, you're right. Okay. My bad. Ooh, didn't notice that one. Okay. When you make a mistake or fail, how do you bounce back from it? Getting deep.
Right, real deep.
You wanna go first, Sophia?
Yeah, I'll be glad.
All right, go ahead.
I actually prepared. I love being prepared. Like I cannot be not. Like, it bothers me if I'm not
I
prepared.
got late notice.
Oh yeah.
Big facts. Shout out
um,
to Noah for stepping in because the original did not.
it's not really original no more.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
They're not going to see this.
A mistake or fail, and how I bounce back.
Yeah.
I always look at it as if you're doing something permanent. Tattoo, hair dye. You know, it's never gonna go away. Or your life on like social media, those videos never go away. I always look at it if I can't do nothing about it, leave it alone. It happened. If it happened, it happened. If I can't change the past. It happens. You know,
Right.
sometimes things slip up from us, and you know it just goes. And you just, it's all about acceptance. You gotta accept yourself as you did that, acknowledge it,
Mm-hmm.
and take accountability if you did something wrong. But don't like a bad grade. Don't stress yourself. You got the grade. Deal with it. Move on and reflect from it. Do better. Don't. Cause I've been the victim of this. I cry. I'm like, why I got this? I didn't deserve that. But you know, I grow from it. I don't let that affect me. And you know, it goes to my mom too. You know, she'd be like, all right, you got this. But as long as I know that you tried, do better. Find out why you had that grade. Do better from it. And that really stuck with me because it's like, can't do nothing. It's like the past is the past. And I think people really are stressed nowadays because they're too busy looking on the past and worrying about what they can't change. And then they be like, oh, I need to change this, but you can't. And I think you should just let it go.
Agreed.
I just been that way for a while now. Like if something happens, like, oh, I dropped my phone in the toilet, can't do nothing now, might as well put in some rice.
Yeah.
So it really happens in different topics,
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of different things, and it goes with friendships, relationships, parents, everything. But in general, just I always learned that you can't do nothing about it.
That's true.
And I prayed, but what really found me to give myself a like benefit of the doubt, can't do nothing from it. Learn from it, keep going, and people usually let that bring them down, and you shouldn't. Cause I was watching my show and it was like, don't do a permanent solution for a temporary problem.
Mm.
And that's people's biggest mistake is they
Yep.
do too big for something that's so small,
Big
and it
facts.
becomes bigger, and then they're stuck and they're like, what do I do? And sometimes you can't do nothing, and you just gotta be like, oh, I did this, my fault. Move on with your life, do better, and don't let that reflect on you. That's how I see it.
Big facts. All right. Yeah. You got that one. You ate. Didn't leave no crumbs. I hear that. But that was good. That was good. You know, preparing is very important, you know. And bouncing back, like you said, one of the main things that stood out to me was the fact that you said that was yesterday's problem. It's in the past. So we
Right.
can't fix anything that happened 5 minutes ago.
Right.
You know, so that's very important. That's why I think that's where a lot of kids end up getting stuck. Or
Right.
people in general. People get stuck legit on things that I kept on doing this. I failed 3 times.
Right.
Okay, my man, you failed 3 times, but guess what? Doesn't mean you gotta fail the 4th time.
Right.
Move forward.
People get so lost in their failure that they don't want to bounce back. They prepare themselves for the worst. And you gotta really prepare yourself for the best. Cause what if it goes opposite and you be like, oh, I really passed that? Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
And also another thing is don't waste 5 minutes on a problem that won't matter in 5 hours. Or
Agreed.
something like that. I don't know. But it's really like that, and it's
Okay.
true. You gotta bounce back because everybody has their own perspective of life. This is your life. This is what you're living. You can't go to nobody else's life. You can't switch shoes with somebody. As much as you see it in the movies, it's not gonna happen. I tried. And it's just not gonna happen. So you really gotta take control of your life,
Mm-hmm.
because if you don't, somebody else will, and that's not what you want. You want to make sure, yo, I did this, good, I'm gonna do it again. And don't let one piece of success distract you from all the other pieces of success you can get.
Agreed. Agreed.
Mm,
Go ahead.
I would say I'm a big listener.
Big listener.
So I like getting advice from people and what I can improve on and keep on trying and trying until I achieve my goals.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Bouncing back from failure is very important. You need to make sure that you bounce back and you don't give up. This is why I always tell people that getting stuck is not an option. It is not an option whatsoever. So we got to make sure that we can continue to do what we have to do. Making sure that you bounce back from your failure is very important. We got to always make sure that you don't get stuck. Getting stuck means that you gave up.
Right.
And that's the one thing that I've always said, even from when I first met you guys from last year to today. I do not want you guys to be stuck. I don't want you guys to give up on yourself. I always want you to strive to be the best version of yourself. And that is what I'd like to teach all the time. Anytime any person comes into my office and we have conversations, the first thing I always go through and review: boundaries, respect, what are your core values. All these things are the stuff that I like to give the wisdom to the kids, because then it's better for them to build up who they are.
Right.
Parents do, a lot of parents do awesome jobs, and then there's some parents that are, it's unfortunate, unable to give the same wisdom to their children, or they don't know how to express that to their children. But sharing how to overcome your life story or your life struggles is very important. So for me, bouncing back is, I cannot give up.
Another
I'm
option.
built differently. You know what I mean? I am built different. The only two things that they always used to tell me, one, and I said this to you guys too, your number one rule is always to get home safe.
Right.
Right.
So my job is always to make sure I get home safe, no matter what situation I'm in. Second thing is, make sure I don't ruin my life in certain bad decisions. So what does that mean? Staying out of trouble and making sure that I make the right decisions.
Right.
So we can't be having we can't be making dumb decisions, and that's something that I try to teach the kids. And now we're in our final question. Do you know anyone who has overcome a huge challenge in their life?
So 3 years ago, my mom had gotten robbed,
Mm.
and she almost lost all her money and the little bit that they left her with, and a lot of valuable items. But she fought through it. She started working double shifts, and she made most of the money back to
Mm.
provide for me and my brother, as I said. And really appreciate her for that.
Right.
I feel like that's a very hard thing to do, get
Mhm.
robbed, lose almost everything. But you always gotta fight and get everything back. Try as hard as you can to be stable.
W your mom.
Real. I want to be here now. Like, she's so cool.
Mom's a real one out there.
You
I
have
hear
to
that.
start getting parents on here. We gotta meet these people.
Look at parents. I'm gonna tell you, if you think your kids are not paying attention, I think these two are proof that they are. Very important.
Yeah.
All right. So, what about you? Do you know anybody that has overcome a huge challenge in their life?
Yeah. Again, Jesus Christ.
Mm.
Easter. You know what happens on Easter, and if you don't, he rised up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's just about the fact that he did it for us, and that's a big thing. And to some people it's a myth or it's not real, like how to me Greek gods are not real, because Jesus is real, in my opinion. So he did die for us, for our sins, and that's a big challenge, and he overcome it because he rised up. And
Amen.
what I learned is that you do things for people, but don't let them step over you, because at the end of the day, he has believers, but he will not let people step over him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big thing that people don't see, because people are like, oh, I believe in Jesus, and I'm not judging, I'm saying people believe in Jesus, and then they do things that are not very believer like. And
Right.
it's not judging.
Big facts.
It's not judging. It's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And people will say it's judging because they are guilty of it. If the shoe fits, then the shoe fits. You know, the shoe fits.
Wear it.
And you
That's
know,
your truth. Go ahead, wear it.
I'm not perfect Christian. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. I've been working on myself, and that's what counts. It's not what you don't do. It's what you do. And that's. Ew, I just said doo doo.
You did. That's definitely going on the podcast, just so you know.
Ew, no.
She said doo-doo.
Okay, watch. Death Note. But it is a big thing that people, like, they say they're a believer in, you know,
They show you otherwise.
right? And it's not little things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the cursing. It's not doing sins, because the 10 deadly sins are some are hard to keep up with. Some you can't control, but you try. It's the things how you bash God. You do demonic things, and you think that at the end of the day you could go on TikTok, repost little videos. I'm a believer in Christ. You're not a believer in Christ. And people support Judas without knowing they support Judas, and then
Yeah.
you know,
big
and
facts.
I do my best to like with Haley, she had the evil eye. She didn't know. I told her if she didn't take off the bracelet, that was up to her.
What?
The evil eye.
You know what the evil eye
You
is?
know the little bracelets that everybody wears that's blue and it looks
Oh,
like an
yeah, I know
eyeball.
what you're talking
Yeah.
Yeah. I told her what I knew about it, and if she didn't decide to take it off, that was her business and her talk to have with Christ. But she took it off because that shows her faith and her commitment to him, and that means a lot. And it's really just about not looking at what people or judging what people do or the relationship they have with Christ, but trying to help them build their relationship with Christ and learn from his story. You know, don't let people walk over you, and do what you can for people, and make sure you set that boundary where people know where to respect you and learn what you did for them, instead of letting them walk all over you, still doing stuff for them. And that's the biggest thing, because being a Christian is also acknowledging what he does in many different ways. And
Right.
you know, you got Lent is also for him, and then, you know, Good Friday is also for him. You know, all these things people do is for him. And it's just a big thing, because at the end of the day, I do believe Jesus is gonna come, and I want him to take me. I want to go. I want to have eternity in heaven, and that's the big thing. But people who don't believe in him, they believe in their own God. That's their business. But
Yep.
I know what I want for my future, and at the end of the day, I want to be with Christ.
There you go.
So that's how I feel.
I respect that.
I
Big,
respect that a
big. I
lot.
respect that a lot.
Clock
Clock it.
Yeah. No. We're not over here advocating just for one. Listen, we respect everybody. So yeah, this is not a podcast just about one set belief. Everybody has their belief, and for Sophia, you know, that's her belief, and it helps her. That's something that helps her overcome, and that's a beautiful thing. You know, I know there's some people that believe in other religious beliefs and all that, and it actually helps them. You have to find a tool that works for you. You know, I can't agree with because for me myself, I am a believer, so I do understand what she's saying.
Right.
You know, Noah, you are a believer as well, so for you it works the same way. And we have a couple of other students that are not, and yet it works for them. So
Right.
whatever works for you is the best thing. I believe, you know, there's a lot of people that have overcome a lot of things. You know, we spoke about parents, we spoke about friends, we spoke about teachers. Me, myself, and I, you know, yeah, I know, right? That's kind of crazy. But me, myself, you know, I know quite a few people, and there's a lot of kids that inspire me, believe it or not. They have overcome a lot.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people some adults don't realize that.
Right.
And that's why I love middle schoolers, because middle schoolers are the in-between stage, you know, where you're going through some development changes, not only physically, but you're only starting to develop who you are mentally. And then when you get into high school, you have a rough idea of who you are, and then it fully develops more into that person. So that's a beautiful thing. And that's why I kind of like love the 6 to 12 grade span, only because I'm fortunate enough to see how you start from 6th grade all the way until you get to you graduate. And that's one thing that I always want to see. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome. All right. So there you have it, everybody. This was another episode of Behind the Arch podcast. So next time we're gonna have a new topic, and we're gonna have a couple of new guests to join us. And the episode topic is the Arch of Counseling Middle School Edition. So you're gonna see exactly who are gonna be our next guests. You're gonna see what is the topic and the questions is going to be. But we thank you so much for being with us and joining us today. We hope that you subscribe, share with your friends, share with everybody. This is not only for us, but it's for you guys. All right. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Toodaloo.
Bye.